Imagine waking up 30,000 years ago. It is still dark. The fire is low. Your group is sleeping. And somewhere outside the camp, something moves. If you had to guess what killed ancient humans, this is probably what you would imagine first. Teeth in the darkness, claws at the cave entrance, predators waiting just beyond the light. And yes, those dangers were real. Ancient humans lived beside animals that were faster, stronger, and far better at hunting in the dark. A human alone at night was not the ruler of nature. It was a nervous animal with a stick and a fire that needed to stay alive until morning. But here is the strange part. The deadliest thing for ancient humans may not have been the creature they could see. It may have been the thing they could not see coming. Not the roar, not the giant shadow, not the eyes in the dark. Something smaller, quieter, and much harder to fight. To understand why, imagine a hunter returning to camp with a cut on his hand. Not a dramatic wound, not a missing limb, just a deep scratch from a stone blade, a thorn, an animal tooth, or a fall on sharp rock. Today, that kind of injury is annoying. You clean it, maybe you cover it, maybe you get stitches or antibiotics if it looks bad. For an ancient human, that small wound could become the beginning of the end. At first, nothing looks serious. The hunter keeps moving. The group still needs food. The fire still needs wood. Children still need protection. Then the hand swells. The skin becomes hot. Pain spreads up the arm. A fever begins. And suddenly, the real enemy is not outside the camp anymore. It is inside the body. That may have been one of the most terrifying parts of ancient life. Small problems could become unstoppable. A cut, a bite, a burn, a broken tooth, an infected gum, or a dirty wound could turn into something the group had no reliable way to fix. Ancient people were not helpless. They knew plants, wounds, rest, heat, pressure, and care. They learned from experience. They helped each other survive. But they did not have antibiotics. They did not have clean hospitals. They did not have emergency surgery. They did not have dentists who could stop an infection before it spread into the jaw, blood, or bone. So the injury was not always the killer. The aftermath was. The ancient world did not need to kill you quickly. It could wait. A wound could wait. A fever could wait. A toothache could wait. And every day it got worse. Your chances became smaller. But infection was only one part of the trap, because even if the body could fight, it needed energy, and energy was never guaranteed. Food was not something ancient humans simply had. Food was a question. Would the animals be there? Would the plants be ready? Would the river be safe? Would the weather change? Would the group find enough before someone became too weak to keep walking? Some days were good. A successful hunt, ripe fruit, eggs, fish, honey, shellfish, nuts, roots, or marrow could change the entire mood of a camp. But other days, the landscape gave almost nothing, and hunger did not just mean an empty stomach. It made every danger worse. A hungry body heals more slowly. A hungry child gets weaker faster. A hungry hunter makes worse decisions. A hungry mother may struggle to feed a baby. A hungry group has less strength to move, search, fight, carry, or recover. That is why ancient death was rarely one clean thing. It was a chain. An injury became deadly because there was not enough food. A sickness became worse because the body was already weak. A cold night became dangerous because someone was underfed. A bad season became a disaster because the group had already been unlucky. Ancient humans were not fighting one enemy. They were fighting combinations, and the most dangerous combination often began at the very start of life. This is the part modern people often misunderstand. When we hear that ancient life expectancy was low, we imagine everyone turning 30 and dropping dead. But many ancient humans who survived childhood could live much longer than people assume. The average was dragged down because so many humans never made it through the beginning. Birth was dangerous. Newborn life was dangerous. Childhood was dangerous. A baby could be born too early, too small, too weak, or during the wrong season. A mother could die giving birth. A newborn could fail to feed. A simple fever or stomach illness could move through a tiny body before anyone had a way to stop it. There was no neonatal unit, no emergency surgery, no antibiotics, no clean hospital room, no guarantee that a baby struggling at sunset would still be alive by morning. That may be the most shocking answer of all. The ancient world did not only kill people after a lifetime of danger, it killed many before they ever had the chance to become strong. Childhood was the first survival test, and for many, it was the hardest one. Adults had their own dangers too, but often they were not dramatic. They were accidents. Ancient life was physical in a way modern life rarely is. People crossed rivers, climbed rough ground, carried loads, handled fire, made stone tools, hunted animals, slept outdoors, and walked through landscapes where one bad step could change everything. A fall could break a bone, a river could take someone, a burn could infect, a hunt could turn in 1 second. A broken leg today is serious. A broken leg then could mean falling behind the group, losing access to food, or becoming dependent on others at the worst possible time. If the group could care for you, you might survive. If food was low, the weather was harsh, or danger was close, your chances became much smaller. Then there was another danger. Other humans. Ancient humans cooperated, shared, learned, loved, protected children, and cared for the injured. But humans also competed over food, over territory, over fear, over revenge, over status. A blow to the skull, a spear wound, or an ambush could kill quickly. And if the wound did not kill immediately, infection might finish the job later. Again, the killers worked together. Violence opened the body. Infection ended the life. But the deadliest world was not always the oldest one. When humans began farming and settling down, some dangers improved, but new ones appeared. Settlements gave people stored food, stronger communities, and more stable shelter. But they also brought humans closer together, closer to waste, closer to pests, and closer to animals. That changed disease. In small moving groups, some infections struggled to spread. In crowded villages, they found new opportunities. Illness moved from person to person. Stored grain attracted rodents. Domesticated animals brought germs closer. Water could become contaminated. Diets could become less varied. So as humans became more settled, death changed shape. The predator outside the camp became the sickness inside the village. The danger did not disappear. It adapted. So what was the deadliest thing for ancient humans? If you want one simple monster, there probably is not one. It was not just predators. It was not just hunger. It was not just violence. The deadliest thing was often the ancient world's lack of backup. No medicine when infections spread. No reliable food system when seasons failed. No emergency care when birth went wrong. No safe recovery when bones broke. No second chance when a tiny body became too weak. Ancient humans were extraordinary survivors, but they lived in a world where ordinary problems could become fatal. A cut could become a fever. A fever could become a death. A bad tooth could become a swollen jaw. A broken bone could become starvation. A bad winter could take the youngest first. A birth could become a tragedy. That is what made ancient life so dangerous. Not that every day was a battle against giant beasts, but that every day came without safety nets. The sharp tooth mattered. The dark forest mattered. The cold night mattered. But often, the thing that killed you was quieter, already in the wound, already in the water, already in the lungs, already in the weakness of a child. The deadliest thing for ancient humans was not one enemy. It was living in a world where the smallest problem could become the final one.